Today on Go Island, we're hanging out with the crew. It's the tech setup for Ride the Cyclone being brought to Nanaimo by Theatre One. There's a short run. We're going to tell you all about it on this edition of Go Island. On today's show, Law Day, a rare opportunity for cameras in the courtroom. The provincial election is underway, but will voters get off the couch? And one bad decision can change your life forever. Another tragic fact, we will never leave this town at all. That is an excerpt from Ride the Cyclone, a musical described as a dark and delirious carnival of lost souls. Theatre One is bringing it to Nanaimo for 6 performances over 5 days, and today on Go Island, we are riding the cyclone. Before we hop aboard, though, in Canadian law, cameras are not allowed in the courtroom, but because this is Law Week, we had the opportunity to sit in on a mock trial. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. It's always exciting to be in a tech setup for any theatre production. This is the Malaspina Theatre on the VIU campus. They're getting ready for Ride the Cyclone. It was first staged about 4 years ago, has been touring the country ever since. Britt Small is the co-director and manager. Producer. She says she has about 5 roles on the show, which is typical for theatre. What is it about this show that our audiences are grabbing onto and enjoying so much?
Yeah, well, we've been all across the country, about as far east as Toronto, as far north as Whitehorse. We've taken it to Vancouver, Vernon, Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, and of course in Victoria quite a few times. And audiences, I think, really respond to how contemporary the piece is. And also the piece is about, you know, a bunch of kids and their stories. So there's a lot of different characters for people to identify with. And each character has their own song that they sing. So the music really, you know, crosses a lot of different genres, a lot of different disciplines. It's really funny, but it also has a really big heart as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of really young people have enjoyed it. And it's great to be able to offer a piece of theater that young people feel is telling their story as well, because it is about a group of teenagers. Although some of our biggest fans are 70 and 80-year-old people as well. So it really seems to appeal to a wide and diverse group of people, which is really exciting for us.
Is it scary? Some of the promotional material I've seen, you sort of zombie eyes.
Right, well, it does take place, you know, after the death of these kids. So there's an element of the unknown, or a kind of limbo, a place of limbo. So that may be a bit frightening to some people, and certainly there's one character that is a headless girl, so she puts a doll head on herself to, you know, make herself less creepy and less scary. But I wouldn't say the piece is overall a horror or a creepy, scary show, although there are some, you know, frightening moments in it, I would say.
We're going to talk more about Ride the Cyclone, and we'll talk to Karnak, the puppeteer behind the puppet and the voice behind the puppet, and we're going to get a look at the role that Karnak plays in the production Ride the Cyclone. It's time now to throw things over to Sean Leslie for This Week in BC. Still ahead today on Go Island, a liver transplant recipient dedicated to raising awareness, rapid fire with the Nanaimo Clippers, and one bad decision can change your life forever. Still ahead today on Go.
In my part in this story, I read all the children's fortunes. I felt their hopes, thoughts, dreams, knowing they would board the doomed roller coaster, and I told them nothing. I even suggested they ride the cyclone. Tonight, my apology, a eulogy in way of a concert, the final concert of the now deceased St. Cassian Chamber Choir.
That is Karnak, the fortune teller in Ride the Cyclone, who knew the fate of those doomed choir kids from Uranium City, Saskatchewan, but he couldn't tell them because he was set into family, fun, and novelty mode. Ride the Cyclone is running here at Malaspina Theatre at the VIU campus, April 25th to 29th. It's a presentation of Theatre One. You can get your tickets at the Port Theatre, and we'll talk more about Karnak later on this edition of Go Island. You are watching Go Island. Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're going to throw things over now to Jocelyn Matwee, who introduces us to a man and a family who will highlight the importance of organ donation. This week is Canada's National Organ Donation Awareness Week. If you'd like information on how to become an organ donor yourself, you can visit transplant.bc.ca. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. We're here at the Malaspina Theatre, where the crew is setting up for Ride the Cyclone. Theatre 1 is presenting it here from April the 25th until the 29th. Now, it's quite a departure for the type of productions that you've seen from Theatre 1 in the past. Here to tell us why it's so different and so appealing and why you gotta come is Nadine Weepening. She's with Theatre 1. How far out of the box is this show for you guys?
It's very far out of the box, actually. We've done some productions in the past that have included music, you know, like Joël Rabu and Piaf and
Yes.
Farber Plaid. But this show is a full-on musical, and to say it's out of the box for Theatre 1 is one thing, but it's out of the box for theatre, Canadian contemporary theatre. Like, it's very cutting edge, and it's just gonna, yeah, it's very different.
And this is a main stage production for Theatre 1. They're known, in case you don't know, we're going to inform you now, for a lot of other things in the community. What are some of the other projects that Theatre 1 is involved with?
Sure, yeah, you'll also find us at the Coast Bastion, where we do our Emerging Voices staged reading series. And so those are scripts in development, directed and read by local professional actors.
Okay, so what you see at Emerging Voices might end up coming through town as a full production several years later, and that's a big part of the process.
That was the case for our last main stage play, actually. It was a script in development, and then we did bring it to full production last year.
What else you got going on? I know there's lots.
Yeah, we have the Just Kidding for Kids series, which happens at this theatre as well. Yeah. And we have the Fringe Flicks independent film series at Avalon Cinema. It's a very popular film series.
And that run, like, every film runs 4 different times.
That's right.
And there's no theatre up, like, you know, Parksville, Qualicum, so you get a lot of that audience coming down, and there's nowhere else on the Central Island that you can see these movies.
These types of films, no. I mean, we get lots of people commenting. They're like, thank you for saving us from the drivel. It's true, and especially this year, we had a really strong season.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that Theatre 1's known for, it's a big event in Nanaimo.
Really big. Our Big Bite of Nanaimo, biggest annual fundraiser. So that's always a big splash.
Coming up in the fall, right?
It's in October, yes.
October,
That's
okay,
right.
great. Nadine, thank you.
You're welcome.
We're going to throw things over now to Dan Marshall. It's another installment of Rapid Fire. That is Karnak, a pivotal character in Ride the Cyclone. You can catch it here at Malaspina Theatre, April 25th through the 29th. You're watching Go Island on Shaw TV Channel 4. And we're kind of excited right now because we have the voice of Karnak here, Carrie Wass.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Is
Great,
that
thank
your
you.
regular voice or the Karnak voice?
This is kind of a hybrid right now, but the Karnak voice is quite deep like this.
What role does this guy, oh, he's kind of creepy, these hands. What role does he play in the production?
Karnak oversees all of the children's fates. 6 kids die in a roller coaster accident, and I bring them back to life in order to allow them to see which one can play with one another to try and live again.
Wow, and who's the man behind this, making this magic happen?
The man who operates my body is named James Insel, and I was designed by James Insel and Hank Pine.
So is he a kind character, a cruel character? Because he knew these kids were going to die, but he didn't save them.
I was designed to tell the place and time of individuals' deaths, but was set on family fun mode when sold to the Wonderville Traveling Fairground. So, in my heart, I am a kind spirit, but I do know everyone's fates, which is often a burden on my shoulders.
Wow, I can imagine. I'm getting a sense of interviewing 2 different people here. I think I'm going to ask Carrie now
Yes.
what it's like to coordinate with the puppeteer. How does that change your role, your voice? Because I see you talking and really looking at the gestures and trying to match up there.
Well, I feel like it's almost like a band. In the sense that a band, you have to kind of feel each other out and you have to have the same timing and everything. And so when I work with James, it's very much a collaborative experience. He gets what I'm sending him through my voice, and I also try to read what he's doing physically with the puppet, so it becomes a nice mutual relationship and a good, coherent performance.
We'd been talking a little bit about how your voice used to be recorded, or Karnak's voice
Karnak was originally recorded when the versions many ago, but that often limited the ways that we could use the puppet and utilize him. So for this, because he interacts more with the kids, we've allowed it to be live so that it kind of gives a nice organic feel and it becomes a nice bond with the other performers on stage.
Are you a voice actor or an actor first, or is there even a difference? Can you draw the line between the two?
Well, I used to do more film and TV stuff, but since moving to Toronto, I do more voice, some cartoon shows, and so it's been fun. I really
What
like
cartoons? What cartoons?
Beyblade.
Putting you on the spot
Beyblade's the one that the kids will know. It's the Japanimation type show, which is good. Another show called Wendy, which is about horses, and I play the dad in that. So a few things like that.
Can you do one of the voices? Are you allowed to?
Sure, why not?
I didn't warn him.
Beyblade. This is the Beyblade voice.
Wow.
Which is a lot more creepier than Karnak. Karnak is far more subtle.
Excellent. Well, thank you for sharing. You can catch Karnak and his voice and all of the other performers in Ride the Cyclone here at Malaspina Theatre, April 25th until the 29th. We're throwing things down to Victoria now. One bad decision can change a life forever. Here's Sucheta Singh with more. Teen Expo runs for one day only. That's April the 27th at the Perks Recreation Centre in Victoria. You can get full details at teenexpo.ca. That brings us to the end of this edition of Go Island. We always love hanging out on stage with the cast from theatre productions. It's a lot of creativity, a lot of good energy, and a whole lot of fun. Ride the Cyclone, 6 performances only, April 25th to the 29th here at Malaspina, and you can get your tickets at the Port Theatre. Thanks for watching this edition of Go Island. We'll see you next time.
We will never leave this